No one knew when or how the zombies appeared. It was a bright, peaceful afternoon. On the rooftop, the teacher and a few students were busy tending to their little garden. Suddenly, terrifying screams erupted from below. Startled, they rushed to the edge and looked down. What they saw left them frozen students running wildly in panic, some collapsing, others attacking one another like wild beasts. In an instant, the entire school descended into chaos. Kurumi stood there in shock when, out of nowhere, a girl plummeted from above. Before she could react, the girl's body twisted and transformed into a zombie right in front of her. Horrified, Kurumi sat paralyzed until a senior student rushed over, grabbed her hand, and pulled her away to safety. On their way out, Kurumi came across a classmate who had already been bitten. The classmate's eyes had turned pale white, and Kurumi froze in fear. Just when the zombie was about to bite, her senior shielded her, taking the attack himself. With trembling hands, Kurumi helped him back to the rooftop, only to find more infected waiting there. Panic spread, and several students tried to flee downstairs, unaware that the danger below was even worse. The teacher shouted for them to stop, but it was already too late. As the zombies charged, the teacher slammed the door shut and pushed a refrigerator in front of it. But even here, danger lurked. A zombie appeared on the rooftop, lunging at Yuri, and just as its teeth nearly sank in, the teacher struck and killed it. The worst, however, was yet to come. The senior who had been bitten began mutating, his body trembling as he slowly lost himself. Staggering toward Kurumi, he reached out, no longer human. Kurumi clenched her jaw, grabbed a shovel from the ground, and with tears in her eyes, struck him down. The school had already fallen. In fact, the entire island was doomed. Only 3 students and 1 teacher managed to survive. On the rooftop, they painted a giant SOS, praying for rescue. For the time being, their rooftop garden gave them food, but vegetables alone wouldn't be enough. Without proper nutrition, they couldn't last long. So Kurumi and Yuri decided to venture to the canteen for staples and meat. They crept downstairs carefully. Zombies wandered aimlessly in the hall. Yuri pulled out ping pong balls she had prepared, tossing them in different directions to draw the creatures away. As the zombies stumbled toward the noise, the 2 girls slipped through the hall. They were almost at the canteen when another zombie appeared at the corner. They crouched quickly, and fortunately, the zombies' poor eyesight kept them hidden. Just as they breathed in relief, Yuri froze in terror. Another zombie had appeared right in front of them and lunged at Kurumi. She raised her shovel to block the attack, the loud clash echoing through the hall. The noise drew the other zombie back. Yuri swung her bat frantically, but it barely hurt the creatures. Panicked, she fell to the ground, helpless. Kurumi managed to kill one, but another leapt at her, clutching Yuri's legs. With all her strength, Kurumi shoved one zombie away, raised the shovel, and brought it down, saving Yuri at the last second. Inside the cafeteria, they found the place in ruins. Still, they managed to dig up a single pack of noodles. As Kurumi searched further, she heard movement. Holding her shovel tight, she followed the sound. Suddenly, something tackled her from the darkness. Heart racing, she flipped over and realized it wasn't a zombie, but a surviving student. After checking to ensure she wasn't bitten, they finally relaxed. Her name was Mickey, a sophomore who had hidden in the cafeteria since the outbreak began. That night, to welcome her, they cooked the noodles they had risked their lives to find. Yet, while the others smiled, Mickey's expression remained heavy. She knew food wouldn't last forever, and she wasn't willing to sit around waiting to starve. The next morning, the school's broadcast suddenly turned on, echoing music through the halls and drawing hordes of zombies. To their shock, it was Mickey who had turned on the system, hoping to lure the zombies away so she could escape. Kurumi and Yuri rushed to the broadcasting room to stop it. Yuki Takia tried persuading Miki, but she refused. Even though she had car keys, she couldn't find the vehicle. Soon, zombies swarmed them, and the group climbed onto a van, surrounded from all sides. The sight brought back memories for Miki, her classmates being dragged away during the first outbreak. When she snapped back, Kurumi was trying to distract the zombies, but it wasn't working. Just as all hope seemed lost, Yuri ran to the broadcasting room and played her favorite song. The zombies shuffled toward the sound. Seizing the chance, Yuki Takeya grabbed Miki and pulled her to safety. They barely escaped alive. But with food running dangerously low, they had no choice but to raid the storage room. Kurumi and Yuri teamed up, charging into the zombie-filled corridor. Though it was their first time fighting together, their rhythm was perfect. They cut through the horde, reaching the storeroom. Inside, they found everything they could ever need. Food, supplies, enough to live for years. Relieved, they began moving the items when suddenly, a familiar figure appeared. Kurumi froze. It was her senpai, now a zombie. Memories of their time together flashed in her mind. She loved him, and for the first time, her hands trembled. The zombified senior lunged, pinning her to the ground. Just before his teeth reached her, Yuri smashed a fire extinguisher into his head, ending it instantly. Tears filled Kurumi's eyes as she bid him a painful farewell. With supplies secured, their lives began to regain a sense of normalcy. They grew vegetables, shared meals, had pillow fights, and even stargazed at night. But peace never lasted long. During a party, the fire alarm suddenly blared, echoing through the building. Zombies stirred and swarmed the halls. When the group ran downstairs, they were stunned. One zombie had set itself on fire. The blaze spread, forcing them to split up in the chaos. Kurumi fought with her shovel, urging the others to flee. Upstairs, Yuri and Miki barely managed to push through, but were quickly surrounded again. Their screams echoed as more zombies broke through. Yukitakia collapsed in despair, while Kurumi found herself trapped on the rooftop, pressed into a corner by dozens of zombies. Just as she was about to give up, her senpai's words echoed in her heart. With renewed strength, she leapt from the rooftop, shovel in hand, and cut her way through the swarm until she reached Yuri and Miki. She saved them, but Yukitakia and the teacher were missing. They followed the trail of burnt bodies to the infirmary, only to find the teacher there already a zombie. She had been bitten earlier while protecting them, and knowing her fate, tied herself down to stop from attacking them. Even in death, she thought only of her students. Heartbroken, Kurumi raised her shovel once more, ending her suffering. In the end, the remaining 4 survivors bowed deeply to their fallen school before leaving, driving off in search of a new safe haven. So, what did you think of this movie? Leave it in the comments below, and if you liked the video, like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you next time.